Proper ventilation required for this idiocy. Okay, so yeah, I save all the solder that my 808 catches. I'm sure I'm not the only person that does this, but last time I used my solder pot, I tried this with some success, and I thought I'd share it this time around. Basically what I did was, instead of buying bar solder, which I can show that to you. Here's bar solder. This is from Mauser, yeah, I think so. I believe it's 6040 or 6337 stuff, can't remember. But just to save a few bucks and just to keep from throwing this stuff in the trash, I thought, you know what, I'll just throw it in the solder pot. And that's what a lot of that is. However, I ran into the problem was, even if it does melt, we're going to end up with a ton of crap on the top. Especially that powdery shit. And I think that's probably from the 808 being turned up too high, maybe, and burning flux or whatever and sucking it in. I'm going to crank up the heat pretty high on this, and then I'm going to let that settle for a little bit. Maybe we'll do a high speed of it. Getting smoky, so I'm going to move this outside. Alright, so I hasn't done much in a while. And this is where I was at last time when I realized, what if I just pour some flux on top of it? And this is the part where we need massive ventilation. Now, what I'm actually going to do is pour this in there, which is just that flux, but it had dried out. So I added a little bit of rubbing alcohol to try to liquefy it up, but this is going to get real smoky real quick. I don't even think I'm getting any flux in there yet. So mostly in the bottom of the glass. You can kind of already tell it's working. There we go. Flux melts around and gets around in there, it's just going to create a big puddle of mud and crap on top. So that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to let that burn off for a while. It's been steaming quite a while, and looks like I've got a nice crusty surface here. Turn that way back down. So I definitely added quite a bit to the solder level. In fact, I think I'll shut it off and let it cool, and I'll get these pieces back in there. But next I'm going to add some more bar solder and see about getting that level up. Looks like it's oxidizing pretty heavily. Definitely way too hot. So I'll let it cool. See about scraping some of that off maybe or something after it gets a little colder, and then heat it back up later and get rid of all this trash up here. Add some bar solder. Alright, I wanted to put some bar solder in here. The idea is to try to get it as close to the top as I can. It's almost all the way up there. Very good. Because what I've been wanting to do is attempt laying on a top loader board and being able to pull off the CPU and PPU without having to use the 808. Okay, so I've got my puller on the PPU. And I seriously have no idea if this is going to work. Kind of looks like this thing's in the way. There we go. I thought it was down away. Let's see. I want to try to keep the ground plane out of there. Could be this is just not hot enough too. Well, I got the back legs off. Oh, come on. need to play with my heat. And it was definitely on there for a while. I was going to say maybe the board is a little warped, but it's a little too hard to tell. Could be if it was hotter, then I wouldn't need to leave it on there so damn long. Only one little piece of solder was left on the surface. That's good. I was really worried about it attaching to the ground plane out here. So I might give this a few more seconds to heat up to what I got set on 572, which is 300C, and then we'll try the CPU and see if it comes out. The reasoning was even with the 808, I mean the 808 gets these out really well, but it doesn't leave just this cleanest legs ever, and this really does. But the 808 will be able to clear these holes out even faster than if it had a pin in it, and also I'm a lot less likely to pull up the vias and the traces around there, and they're doing it this method. See little speckles of bubbling right there, like maybe the heat was trying to, I don't know, might have been hurting it a little bit, but if I can get this down to where it's just to plop it down and pull it out, that would be great. But yeah, I think that would speed up removal of those chips, and also speed up cleaning of those holes, and just for any sRGB work, stuff like that, replacing chips, whatever. Something I always wanted to try and just never really had much reason to. Kind of wish I had a set versus actual, but whatever. Kind of wish my lip right here was a little higher than the outer lip too. Seems like my pins on the controller port are hitting that pretty hard. If I position it just right, I can get away from them. Or can I? How am I hitting them? Maybe I was hitting pins on the edge somewhere. Looking from the bottom, it definitely looks like it's submerged. Ugh. Look at that horrible mess. I'm betting once it cools, though, a lot of that will just fall back off there. No, way too hot. Definitely have a few trouble pins. Pin 1. Shouldn't have been a trouble pin. Maybe it just wasn't touching very well, but it looked like it pulled some of the solder with it from inside the via. The via is even, I can even see through that via a little bit, but it's not on a ground or power pin without the thermals. It's like 40 and 20 were, for sure. 20 has a little bit of thermal relief, but not nearly enough. That thing retains heat really well. Well, a few of the spots came right back off. That big blob right there is going to have to come off with the 808 probably. A little bit better looking. So yeah, it works. Not totally in love with it, but I wonder if it would help if that thing was removed. I'm not sure if that's even removable. I'm not even really sure what it does. I think it's... I don't remember. It seemed like maybe it was riveted down in there. I don't remember. And I'm definitely not level, but this whole thing is cockeyed a little bit. Or am I missing one? Nope, all the rubber feet are there. I guess I could get a little bit more in there. That's pretty cool how it does that. Well, that's definitely above the lip. You know, I probably should have cleaned that off again before I did that. That's exactly what this thing is supposed to be for. There's all kinds of crap on the back of it though. Oh, and I put a huge glop of it on the back side. I don't look like all crap though. Cool, I bet that would work a lot better. Pulled off the big glop. Well, anyway, that's enough messing around with it for today.